Hey everybody, if I ran the circus by Dr. Seuss. McGurkus, 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 McGurkus. If I ran the circus. In all the whole town, the most wonderful spot is behind Sneelock's store in the big vacant lot. It's just the right spot for all my wonderful plans, said young Morris McGurk, if I clean up the cans. Now a fellow like me, said young Morris McGurk, could rid of this junk with a half hour's work. I could yank up those weeds and chop down the dead tree and haul off those old cans. They're just two or three, and then the whole place would be ready, you see. The Circus McGurkus. All ready to put up the tents for my circus. I think I will call it the Circus McGurkus. The Circus McGurkus, the world's greatest show on the face of the earth, or wherever you go. The Circus McGurkus, the cream of the cream. The Circus McGurkus, the circus supreme. The Circus McGurkus, colossal, stupendous, astounding, fantastic, terrific, tremendous. I'll bring in my acrobats, jugglers, and clowns from 1,033 faraway towns to the place that you'll see 'em, ladies and gents, right behind Sneelock's store in the great McGurk tents. And I don't suppose old Sneelock will mind when he suddenly has a big circus behind. After all, Mr. Sneelock is one of my friends. He might even help out doing small odds and ends, doing little odd jobs. He could be of some aid, such as selling balloons and the pink lemonade. I think 500 gallons will be about right, and then I'll be ready for opening night. What an opening night, what a night, what a sight. I'll hoist up the curtains, the crowds will crowd in, and my Circus McGurkus will promptly begin with a welcoming toot of my welcoming horn by my horn-tooting apes from the jungle of Jorn, where the very best horn-tooting apes are all born, 'cause the very fresh air there is fine for their lungs, and some of those fellows have 2 or 3 tongues. This way! Step right in! This way, ladies and gents! My sideshow starts here in the first of my tents. What you see, what goes on, you'll say no other circus is half the great circus the Circus McGurkus is. Here on stage 1 from the ocean of Alf is a most amazing sight. A walrus named Wolf, who can stand on 1 whisker. The wonderful Rolf on top of 5 balls, 2 for tennis, 3 golf. It's a marvelous trick, if I say so myself. And on stage number 2, here's something quite new. From a country called From comes the drum-tummied Stum, who can drum any tune you might care to hum. Doesn't hurt him a bit, 'cause his drum-tummy's numb. And you'll now meet the Foon, the remarkable Foon, who eats sizzling hot pebbles that fall off the moon. And the reason he likes them red hot, it appears, is that gently he enjoys blowing smoke from his ears. And of course, like pebbles like this are quite hard to collect, but Sneelock will manage somehow, I expect. After all, Mr. Sneelock is one of my friends. I'm sure he'll help out doing small odds and ends. And on stage number 4, see the Willy Walloo, who can throw his long tail as a sort of a lasso. With a flip of the hip with the tail of this kind, he can capture whatever is standing behind. He can capture old Sneelock. I'm sure he won't mind. And now here is the hoodwink, who winks in his wink hood. Without a good wink hood, a hoodwink can't wink good. And folks, let me tell you, there's only one circus with wink hooded hoodwinks. The Circus McGurkus. The show of all shows, there are no other showmen who show you a show like a blindfolded bowman. The blindfolded bowman from Brigger de Beirut, the world's sharpest shooter. Look at him shoot through the holes in 4 donuts, 2 hairs on a worm, and the knees of 3 birds without making them squirm, and then on through a crabapple up on the head of old Schneelock, who likes to help out, as I've said. And now come to this spot where the spotlight is hot, and you'll see in the spotlight a juggling jot, who can juggle some stuff you might think he could not, such as 22 question marks, which is a lot, and also 44 commas and also 1 dot. That's the kind of Circus McGurkus I've got. And that's just my sideshow, a start, a beginning. The way to the big tent, you'll find your head spinning. Why, ladies and gentlemen, youngsters and oldsters, your heads will quite likely spin right off your shoulders. So hurry, step lively, quick, ladies and gents, and get into your seats of my tent of all tents. My parade of parades is about to commence. You'll see Drum Major Sneelock fling-flang his baton, and my organ McGurkus comes on, with its hot steaming pipes of gold brass-plated tin, snorting all sorts of snorts in a bumbling din. This is the super stupendous, stupendous, stu-roarous, and when I play Dixie, please join in the chorus. Then a fluff, muffled tuffle will ride on a huffle, and next in line a fine flummox will shuffle, and the flummox will carry a lunch in a pail, and a fibble will carry the flummox's tail, while on top of the flummox 3 harp twanging snarp will twang mighty twangs on their 3 snarper harp, whilst a bolster blows bloops on a 3-nozzled blueser, and Nolster blows floops on a 1-nozzled nozer. And then comes a lion who's partly a trout. There's more. For 45 minutes about. And then behind them, while on everyone stares, come my to and fro marchers, who march in 5 layers. The fro march on 2s, and the 2s march on fros. Don't know how to do it, but that's how it goes. And now comes an act of enormous. No former performers performed this performance. This stunt is too grippingly, slippingly frightening. Down from the top of my tent like greased lightning, through pots full of lots of big sticklebush trees, slides a man, what a man, on his roller skate skis. He'll steer without fear, and you'll know at a glance that it's Schneelock, the man who takes chance after chance. He won't even rip a small hole in his pants. And now here in this cage is a beast most ferocious, who's known far and wide as the spotted atrocious, who growls, howls, and yells the most blood-curdling sounds, and each tooth in his mouth weighs at least 60 pounds. He chews up and eats up with the greatest of ease things like carpets and sidewalks and people and trees. But the great Colonel Sneelock is just the right kind of a man who can tame him. I'm sure he won't mind. And then I'll let Sneelock off for a few minutes' rest, while high overhead you will see the best of the world's finest, fanciest, breezy trapezing by Zuma Zoop troop from the West Upper Bendinzing, who never quite know while they zoop and they zoom whether which will catch what one or who will catch whom, or if who will catch which by what and just where, or just when and how and which part of the air. Aye, what a circus! My circus McGurkus, my workers love work. They say, work us, please work us. We'll work and we work up so many surprises you'll never see half if you have 40 eyeses. And now, against Sneelock. Brave Sneelock is back, risking life on my patented life-risking track, where the speedsters I call my colliding collisions race round in swift cars called abrasion contusions. And Sneelock just lies there, not one bit excited. I know he won't mind. He'll be simply delighted. And here, in a contest of brute strength and muscle, Kid Sneelock, my champ of all champs, will now tussle and wrestle a beast called the Grizzly Ghastly, and slap him around, then he'll slap him down fastly, and pin both his shoulders tight flat to the mat. Kid Sneelock will love it. I'm sure about that. And while that goes on there, look at this go on here. Have you heard of my herd of through horn jumping deer? Every deer jumps through horns of another pell-mell, while his horns are jumped through at the same time as well. But a deer whose horns also are being jumped through by another who's having his horns jumped through too, which I'm sure Trainer Sneelock can train them to do. Then the whole tent will ring with hoorays and wild shouts, while I wheel in my whales and they turn on their spouts. First, my whale number 1, with an aim that aims true, spouts a spout that spouts Sneelock to whale number 2. And then whale number 2 spouts a spout like a gun, and that spout spouts old Sneelock right back to whale 1. And then forwards and backwards on spout after spout, my great spout-routing Sneelock gets spouted about, just as long as the water they're spouting holds out. Then, my tournament knights, noble apes without fear, Sir Hector, Sir Vector, Sir Bop and Sir Beers, Sir Hawkins, Sir Dawkins, Sir Jocks and Sir Jeers, chatter into the tent, and while everyone cheers, stage a roustabout joust with their boxing glove spears. And while this wild ruckus goes on below, at the top of the tent, look, the star of my show, great daredevil Sneelock, the world's bravest type. He comes pulled through the air by 3 Sorbron snipe. On a dingus contraption attached to his pipe, and while people below are all turning chalk white and all biting their fingernails off in their fright, great Sneelock soars up to a terrible height. Then he shakes himself loose. He starts down in a dive, such as no man on earth could come out alive. But he smiles as he falls, and no fear does he feel. His nerves are like iron, his muscles like steel. He plunges down, with his hair still combed neat, 4,692 feet. He'll land in a fishbowl. He'll manage just fine. Don't ask how he'll manage. That's his job, not mine. Why, he'll be a hero. Of course he won't mind when he finds that he has a big circus behind. If I ran the circus.